They've done it again. Another major update in the hunt for Dezi Freeman. Victoria Police have just announced a new specialist operation called Task Force Summit, formed to track down the man accused of shooting 2 police officers near Porepunkah back in August. Sounds big, doesn't it? Streamlined, tactical, serious. But hang on, wasn't there already a specialist team doing that? Same drones, same command units, same high country bush. 2 months later, it feels less like an update and more like déjà vu in uniform. Question: when the plan fails, do you fix it or just rename it? The new streamlined task force is led by detectives from Victoria Police's Anti-Gangs Division, pulling in the Fugitive Squad, Armed Crime Command, and the Special Operations Group. It sounds fresh, but let's be honest, that's almost identical to what we heard back in September. At some point, changing names starts to look like changing tactics on paper, not on the ground. People are beginning to ask whether this new title means renewed purpose or just an attempt to save face. Question: is this really a reset or just rebranding for an operation that's gone nowhere? 8 weeks ago, it was the biggest manhunt in Victoria's history. More than 500 officers, helicopters, drones, and even support from New Zealand. Now we're down to about 200, and Mount Buffalo National Park has reopened. That's a quiet but powerful signal. Police no longer believe Freeman's hiding in that region. The public hears safe to reopen, but what it really means is we've given up on this area. If he was still believed to be in that bushland, there's no way they'd let families and hikers wander back through. Question: if police truly believed he was still there, would they reopen the park? Or did Mount Buffalo reopen because hope quietly closed? Victoria Police are now offering a $1 million reward, not for a conviction, just for arrest. That's extremely rare. Usually the cash only comes once someone's found guilty. So what does it say when they're willing to pay up front? It's a clear sign of frustration or desperation. After all, that kind of offer can buy loyalty, betrayal, or silence. Maybe all three. The police need a win. The media need closure. The public need proof the system still works. Question: is this reward about justice or just about saving face? Before the shooting, Freeman wasn't just a bloke living on the edge of town. Locals say he built doomsday bunkers, taught bushcraft, and helped people live off-grid. Some called it survivalism. Others called it paranoia. If even a fraction of that's true, he knew how to vanish. The high country is thick with gullies, caves, and old tracks no drone can map. And if he really had hidden caches of food and supplies, police could search that bush for years and still find nothing. Question: if you spend your life teaching others how to disappear, isn't it fair to assume you planned your own escape too? Then came the Daily Mail headline, "The Dezi Freeman Twist." This is where police think he's hiding. They reported that police believe Freeman's alive, interstate, and possibly being helped. It's an attention-grabbing claim, but short on verifiable details. And that's how this story keeps evolving, not through evidence, but through exposure. Every headline keeps Freeman's name alive. Every exclusive keeps the myth growing. The media say they're reporting facts, but what they're really doing is feeding the legend. Question: when news coverage turns into a chase for clicks, does the truth still matter? Or just the mystery? Somewhere along the way, the story flipped. The alleged cop killer became the underdog, the bush ghost who outsmarted the system. People online call him Australia's Rambo, a man who beat the government at its own game. It's a dangerous narrative, but it's spreading fast. When faith in authority collapses, rebellion starts looking romantic. But we have to ask ourselves, why are so many people rooting for him? Maybe it's not about Freeman at all. Maybe it's about what his escape says about us. Question: are we watching a manhunt or the making of a modern Australian myth? The Freeman search isn't just about one man in the bush. It's about the system chasing its own reflection. Every new announcement sounds confident, but underneath there's uncertainty and a fear of failure. The truth is, institutions built on control don't know what to do with ghosts. Freeman slipped through the cracks, and now he's haunting them, not in the trees, but in the headlines. Each week that passes without closure is another dent in public confidence. Question: did Victoria Police lose Dezi Freeman? Or did they lose control of the story? So that's the new twist, they say. A renamed task force, a reopened park, $1 million bounty, and still, no Freeman. The media roll the headlines, police hold another press conference, and the cycle resets like clockwork. Every week brings the promise of something new, but if you strip away the buzzwords, what's actually changed? Nothing. The same questions, the same silences, the same ghost in the bush. Maybe that's why this story refuses to die. It's not just about a man who disappeared, it's about what happens when the people chasing him start running in circles. It's about image, pride, and the uneasy feeling that someone out there, somewhere, might have beaten the entire system. For Victoria Police, this isn't just a search, it's a test of credibility. How do you convince a country you're in control when one man keeps proving you're not? Every helicopter flight, every significant update becomes less about finding Freeman and more about proving that authority still means something. And for the rest of us, it's hard not to get pulled in. Australians love an underdog, even when the underdog crosses a line. Maybe it's in our DNA, this fascination with the rebel, the runaway, the bushranger who slips through the cracks. From Ned Kelly to Freeman, it's the same old tension between law and legend. One side hunts for justice, the other hunts for freedom. Both believe they're right. But what happens when justice can't deliver answers and freedom turns into folklore? When the official story sounds rehearsed and the unsolved one feels real? Maybe that's why we keep watching, because Freeman isn't just a fugitive anymore. He's become a mirror, showing us how fragile control really is. Some say he's dead, some say he's interstate. Others swear he's still up there, watching the search parties march past his old tracks. The truth is, no one knows, and maybe that's the part that scares us the most. Because if a man like that can just vanish, what else can slip through unnoticed in this country built on surveillance, order, and endless red tape? The story of Dezi Freeman has turned into something bigger than the crime, bigger than the chase. It's about power and perception. It's about what happens when institutions built on certainty start to look uncertain, and the public starts to notice. So here we are again. Another update that isn't really an update. Another twist that loops back to the start. Maybe the real headline isn't, "Where is Dezi Freeman?" Maybe it's, "How did we lose control of our own story?" If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Tell me what you think, down in the comments. Is Dezi Freeman gone? Or just getting started? And if you want to keep following this case, every twist, every question, every contradiction, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and stay tuned. Because if there's one thing we've learned from this story, it's that every time you think it's over, there's always another twist waiting in the shadows.